Have you ever applied your eyeshadow and after it looked like a big messy blob? Is it a smoky eye? Can I pull this look off? What have I done wrong? How do I apply my eyeshadow? Well, if that is you, make sure to keep on watching. Stay fizzy. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. You know the drill. My name is Katelyn and I'm going to teach you the beauty basics so that you can feel confident with your existing makeup skills so you can get out there and achieve the bigger, more important parts of your life. In today's video, I am going to show you how to properly apply your eyeshadow and my tips for you so you can get that beautiful Instagram worthy traditional eyeshadow look. If you haven't yet attended my free online makeup workshop, I want to cordially invite you, come join me every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, where we just get ready together and we have a ton of fun. I'm going to teach you a basic 5-minute phase, how to apply your makeup. You're just going to bring the makeup that you have, and honestly, it's just such a fun way to spend your Saturday morning, and I get to spend it with the people like you, the people I love. If you haven't yet registered, you can just register in the link below. So now let's just jump into this tutorial. Okay, so to start things off, when I'm placing my concealer under my eye, I am actually also applying it right on top of my eyelid as well. And this is going to really create the base and allow your eyeshadows to stay on all day. It's like a primer, but for your eyeshadow. Now, you can get a separate eyeshadow primer, and by all means use that. Because I'm applying concealer on the bottom of my eyes, under my eye area, I'm just automatically going to place that on my eyelids and set it that way. Just basically one less product, one less step for me to do. After priming it, I'm going to go in with some form of like a bone colored eyeshadow. So a skin toned, or I always refer it to bone colored because I feel like people kind of understand that. I'm going to go in with a flat eyeshadow brush. And I'm placing that on the entire eyelid. So right from that lash line all the way up into the eyebrow. Now, you're not meant to see that color. It's just creating that base for your eyeshadows, and by creating that base, it's just going to allow all those colors to blend really nice, and you're not going to get strokes left in from your brushes. With eyeshadows, you want everything to blend beautifully. You don't want any harsh lines in your eyeshadow. So the next step that I always do, regardless of what look I'm doing, is going to create a little bit of contour within my eyelid. Now, I have a lot of eyelid space. Some people obviously might have a smaller eyelid space or whatever, but this is going to, again, create that dimension. So I go in with some kind of mid-tone or dark tone matte brown. Now, I'm going to use, from the Kat Von D, the Shade and Light palette, I'm going to go in with basically any 3 of these colors. If I'm going to go with a brown eyeshadow tone, I'm going to go in with this color. Generally, a rule of thumb is whatever color you use to contour, you can apply that on your eyelid as well. And I'm using a fluffy brush, a really wide fluffy brush. I don't really care so much about the precision of this color. Again, I'm just creating a little bit more depth on my eyelid. So placing that in the crease and using windshield wiper motions as well as circular motions. I apply that product first in the crease and then I move it up and all the way down, going back and forth like that. Now you can see the difference between this eye, and again, how that just creates a little bit more depth. Again, it defines the crease so you know where to apply that color and gives you a little bit more to work off of. Now comes the fun part with the eyeshadows and the colors and making the magic happen. Now, if you aren't sure what colors of eyeshadow you should go with, or you maybe just don't have a preference, I suggest going and watching this video right here. I basically just go over how to choose the right eyeshadow based on your skin tone. So for me, I am naturally always drawn to just more of the brown and goldy colors, so I'm just going to stick with that today just to show you the basic way of applying your eyeshadow. So after I've applied in that contour color, I'm just going to deepen it a little bit more and stick it more precisely right into that crease. So I'm going to go in with this color right here, which is called Orion. So it's like a darker mid-tone to deep tone brown. Again, still matte. The brush that I want to use is still a fluffy brush, but it is still getting more and more narrow. So if I'm comparing it to the past brush I used, that's the difference. Now in this video right here, I give you a tour of my entire brush set and basically show you which brush is meant for which part of your face and go over the basics of eyeshadow brushes. So I pick that product up on my brush, and now I'm just going to first apply it on the back half of my eyelid and work it forward. You want to do a combination of both windshield wiper motions and circular motions. Now, a rule of thumb when it comes to your eyeshadow colors is the darkest color is going to be on the outside, and it's going to get lighter as you move towards the inside. The other thing is, the darker the color, you also want it to be more precise and staying within the crease rather than moving it up into the brow or to the lash line, because that's just what's really going to give you that like punched in the eye look. A way that I like to think of it is if I was to draw a V, a sideways V on my eyelid, so in through the crease, out, the point would be out towards the outer corner, and then the other line part of the V would be on the lash line. You're going to imagine that V getting darker in color, and as you get deeper and darker in your color of eyeshadow, you're going to draw a smaller and smaller and smaller V. And also, the more on the outer corner that you go, you want that V to get more and more precise versus having it blend all the way around. So all that color did was just, again, really deepen my crease a little bit more, and I can go in and play with colors as I please and as I wish. Now, there is absolutely no limit how many colors you can choose for your crease color or your transition color. Totally have fun with it. You can choose like 20 colors if you want. I recommend at least choosing 2, just so it gives you a little bit more depth and definition and more smooth, elegant romance in your eye color. So the next color that I'm gonna go in with is actually this purple tone. Now on camera it looks quite purple, but when I put it on, it just adds a very little hint of purple to my eye. And the brush that I'm using is still, again, it's still a fluffy brush. It's just starting to come up to a taper, so I'll be able to be a lot more precise when placing this color. So tap that into the color, and then again, start it kind of on the outer corner, and this one I'm just going to kind of go in with more windshield wiper motions, just to apply that product. So all that color is doing is just kind of cooling that brown up a little bit, just adding a little pop of color. Now again, your color choices are totally up to you. You don't have to feel like you need to match your outfit or match the color of your eye. If you're just being pulled to a color, I just suggest you just play with it. The other thing that you want to keep in mind when choosing your color is you want to keep the transition or that crease shade to a matte color and leave the shimmers more for the lid and adding that little pop of color. Now, the next color I'm going to apply is this Geode color. It's a little bit more of a greeny gray, and I just find it pairs so beautifully with that purple color. So I'm going to apply that using the same brush, and now I'm just really going to focus it right into the crease and not have it blend out too much. Once you feel like you have no more product left on your brush and that it's all in your eyelid, that is when you're really going to blend it out. Again, you really don't want any harsh lines. In fact, most times I have a paper towel with me or some kind of towel where I will just take my brush and swirl it around that paper towel, get any of that extra product off, and then I can focus on blending out any lines that I might see in the eyeshadows. So always remember, no harsh lines. That is like your #1 rule. So first I'm just applying that product so it gets off of my brush, and then I'm going to really move it around. Take my brush, clean it off, and blend everything up, blending all the way down and all the way up. If you have a clean brush and there's no more product on that, you're not going to be worried about applying like a heavy amount of that product and then having to work from there. Just keep cleaning it off, especially if you are just beginning into the eyeshadow and playing with different colors. It's easier to apply more product than take it away. So start with little, with less, and add as you go. The one thing that is happening that I'm not really exactly wanting is it's starting to get a little bit too heavy right up in here. So I'm just gonna go in with my finger and start kind of cleaning that up and just trying to move that product away. Again, the heaviest amount of product and the darkest color I want it on the outside. So I don't want too much on the inside. Now the other thing is you don't want your eyeshadows to start falling and collecting down here. So you can, if you can imagine a line from the bottom lash line all the way up to the tail of your eyebrow, that is where you want your eyeshadow to stay. You don't want it to get any lower than where that line is. So if you want, periodically as you're applying your eyeshadow, just kind of go in there, clean that up. Or something else that you can do to keep it nice and simple is just start with your eyes, and then any fallout that happens, you can obviously just go in there and clean it all up as you're applying your foundation and your concealer. So now what I'm doing is going back in with that Geode color, that purple color, and I'm actually just going to start dragging it down onto the outer portion of my eyelid. So this is the crease, and I'm pulling it down right in there because I just want this part to be just a little bit softer and darker. Now the next thing that I'm going to do when it comes to my transition or my crease is going now in with a very dark heavy color. So you can use black. I'm going in with a very dark brown, and this is where I'm going to create that really small V and just precisely apply that on the very outside corner into that transition of my eye. Doing this is really just going to lift up your whole eyelid and make your eyes pop. So I'm going in with quite a bit of a smaller brush here. So if you're to compare with the other one that I was using. So this one is really great just for applying just a small amount of product, again, very precisely. So I'll take that product, I'm going to tap off any extra, and now right in that outer very point of the V, I'm going to apply that product and sweep it, kind of following that V pattern. You can pick up as much product as you want. Again, it's always easier to add than take away. And I'm going to go back with that other fluffy brush I was using, and I'm going to just blend that out. So the point of this color, again, is just to really make my eyes pop out. It's a heavy amount of product. You can make this a little bit heavier if you're going to a bigger event. You can keep it on the lighter side if it's, you know, during the day, you're just going to work, you just are kind of putting on some eyeshadow. This is what's really going to make your eyes stand out and really pop the overall look. So of course, again, I don't want any hard lines. I want everything to blend beautifully, and so I'm going back in with that original fluffy brush that I used to contour out my eyelid, and I'm going to blend everything together. So I really want those colors to kind of mix together. Again, taking away all those lines, blend it, blend it, blend it. Right up into the eyebrow and right down. If you ever see brush strokes in your eyeshadow, this is what is going to kind of take those out. Want to erase those by blending it out. Again, cleaning up everything, going in with my fingers or going in with some kind of clean brush and just wiping that away. Now it's time for the fun part. So this is the part where you're going to really kind of play with the shimmers or the colors and really make your eyes pop out. So if you are wanting a shimmer color, this is where you're going to apply it. You're going to apply it to the lid color. So again, going back to our rule of keeping the lightest colors on the inside corner and the darkest colors on the outside corner, I also like to imagine my eyelid in, like if I was to cut it in half, or not cut it in half, divide it in half. So inside, outside. The other thing that you can do is divide it by threes. So inside, middle, and then outside. But again, the main thing is keeping that lightest color on the inside and darkest on the outside. So I'm going to actually go in with the same color that I used to highlight my cheeks, and I'm going to use that with a flat eyeshadow brush. Grab that product, keep it right into the inner corner and up right into that crease. Now this is really going to open up my eyes. The next color I'm going to go in with is this kind of like light pinky purpley color, and it has a little bit of a sheen to it. I'm using the same brush and I'm going to apply that product, and this is where I'm going to apply it kind of like right on the middle, right on the center of my eyeball. Blending that color I put on the inner corner and this color together. Now the last color I'm going to apply is going to be the darkest lid color on that last third, the outer corner. And I'm going to choose actually this Sapphire color. So it has a little bit of a blue tone, but it can be almost have a little bit of black to it. So I'm using, again, the same brush. I'm tapping that product and I'm just applying it on that outside corner. Now I don't want to go any further than my crease, especially on this one, because again, I want to keep that product or that back half nice and dark. I'm just applying it more in a tapping motion and rather than rubbing it around. Well, another method I like to do with my lid color is find that crease and kind of tap it right up in there. Right up in there. Now, of course, we got to blend everything together. So just go back in with that original fluffy brush into the crease, kind of blend those colors nicely together. And if you feel like you have some brush strokes on your lid color, go with that same lid brush and then wipe it off, and then you can kind of pull the colors together so that they just melt into each other. So when it comes to the bottom, the under eye, I basically just repeat that same pattern-ish. So going with the darkest color, I'll go in with that Sapphire color. You could use the Sapphire color, or you could use that original dark brown color that I had applied there. But because I really want my lid to pop, I'm going to apply the same lid pattern. So Sapphire on the bottom. That cosmic color right in the center. And then once you are done all that, making sure we clean everything up. So going back in with that clean, fluffy brush and just wipe away any fallout that has happened. And if you feel like you need to clean anything up, you can go back in with your damp sponge and kind of reapply any powder that you might need. So I'm going to just finish up by lining my eyes, adding mascara and some strip lashes, and there we go. Now if you want to learn how to make that perfect wing eyeliner using my hack, make sure you go check out that video. Make sure you go check out that video right there. Okay, so there you go. That is with some eyeliner, some lashes on. That is the finished look. This is what I would consider more of a traditional eyeshadow application. If you want to check out actually how to apply an easy smoky eye, seriously, it's like 3 products. I created that video. You can go watch it right about there again. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Now, if you guys go follow me on Instagram at kate.redding and you recreate this look, I want you to tag me so that I can feature you on my feed. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you took something away. My question for you though is, have you downloaded my 5 secrets to a flawless face yet? In this free guide, I share with you how to get that flawless finish every single time. And you also receive a set of exclusive video tutorials that will teach you all types of things, including how to contour your face. Or have you taken my skin analysis quiz yet? In that quiz, you're going to learn all about the skin type you have and what products would best suit your skin type. Now, just like always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and head down to the comments below. I want to hear from you. What did you learn? What is something maybe you already knew? And what is something that you want to learn? And if you enjoyed this tutorial, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every week when I post a new video. Now, lastly, to keep the learning going, go and watch these videos right here. See you next week.